Ladies and gentlemen, I think today's video is going to get a little bit heady. It's going to be a little bit abstract. But if you bear with me, hopefully there's something here. But today we're going to talk about finding your purpose. Whenever I say finding your purpose, it sounds so far off and mystical and, just not real, right? It sounds kind of hokey, magical, when I really don't think it should be like that. And even though I have a tendency to be long-winded, I'm going to try to do my best to be clear and concise. But in order for me to really get my point across, I have to tell you a little bit about me. So, I was an art teacher. I was an art teacher for about 8 years. And over those 8 years, I did a lot of dealing with kids, right? I was a teacher. And I think I learned the most about myself as a teacher. I learned that I really like helping people. And if I was going to be honest and judge myself as an actual teacher, I don't really think I was that good. However, I feel like I was the best at relating to students. I was the best at trying to help prepare them for other things outside of school, trying to prepare them for life after school, because I taught high school, because I felt like that was important. And as a teacher, I feel like the school system, our education system, fails to really help kids be prepared for life after school. And you can't help them be 100% prepared, but you can at least help level with them. Because to me as a teacher, that was the most important thing. I wanted them to succeed, not just in my class, but after that. That was when I really felt like I was winning, that I was successful. And so to bring it back full circle, I think for me, the thing that gives me purpose is helping people. I have a buddy, like myself at multiple times in my life, is going through a hard time. He's trying to figure out what it is that he's going to do. Where is he going to work? How is he going to pay for things? How is he going to live? How is he going to be on his own? How is he going to survive in this world? Because it sucks to feel like you have to start from square one. And that got me thinking, how do you find your purpose? Because for me, it's more of being molded by life experiences, religious experiences, not necessarily by what I'm going to do for a job. It's bigger than that. It's a little bit more meaningful than that. But I think it's important if you're going to start from square one, right? What it is that you uniquely bring to the table. I think you really have to make a lot of hard decisions that you don't really think that you're 100% comfortable with, but you have to do it because, and to make a long story short, how bad do you want it? Because if you really want it, you would go after it. You would get it done. Now I realize that that's easy for me to say and harder to actually do for a lot of people, because for me, I have the ability to just hyper focus on one or two or three singular tasks until they're completed. Not everybody else is like that. And so if you're struggling, I get it. This is a hard topic. And I don't say any of this lightly, because I find myself a lot of times, and I feel like I'm blessed in a way right now to where I really am in a groove, right? I am married, I have 2 kids, I have a job that I like. I feel like I'm making some sort of difference in almost every area of my life. But it wasn't always like that. I've struggled so much in my life to figure out what it is that I could be doing. Asking the most important life questions of what is the purpose? What is my purpose for existing? And I had to wrestle with that for years. I am 32 years old, right? I'm not that old. And I feel like just now I'm finally figuring that out. But like all things, the more you start to really learn, you realize you really don't know much at all. And it's those life experiences that we have that make us uniquely who we are and why we do what we do and how we are as people. It's beautiful. But anyway, that's hard. And anybody else who would ever be struggling with finding who they are, because that is a tough place to be. It's a hard place to be. Know that I feel for you. So if I had to wrap this all up in a closing statement, don't be afraid of the unknown. Take chances. Calculated risks, but take those chances because you never know what's going to come from it. And most importantly, how bad do you want it? I'll see you guys in the next one.